Hello and welcome to another very special Warcraft 3 audio commentary, because this one is the 200th commentary. That's right, and I know it's not technically the 200th commentary, even on just the YouTube channel, and there's a couple games that have multiple commentaries in them, and then there's, you know, all the cast on Twitch, and also, sorry about not getting to cast Zotac yesterday, or really anything at all. I couldn't talk very well. I was kind of feeling under the weather. I couldn't really get things out. Didn't feel too good, so, but today, you know, whatever, we're good. We're gonna move past that, and this is the 200th commentary. I'm pretty excited about it. I hope you guys are super excited about it. Big thanks to everyone who's stuck around, you know, since the beginning. I don't know how many of you there are, but I know there's quite a few, and I just want to say big thank you to you guys. Also, big thanks to anyone at all who has, you know, been watching the videos at all, especially if you've been sharing them or anything like that. That's just, it means so much to me, and so I just wanted to say thank you all so much. It means a lot, and I hope you guys enjoy the content, you know, and keep leaving feedback, keep leaving suggestions, etc, etc, etc. So I know it's kind of arbitrary to go to 200 and be like, oh, we're at 200, yeah, you know, but again, just thank you all. It's been awesome, and hopefully we'll just have another next awesome 200, you know, who knows. But let's go ahead and introduce our players. This is a game that was played on WC3 Arena. It is between Cechi, spawning in as the purple undead in the lower left, going with, of course, some kind of ghoul build. Yeah, some kind of gold build. And he's going to be playing against HawK, who's going to be spawning in as the brown human in the upper right. Indeed, Inquisitive HawK versus Cechi. Of course, they are both playing under their WC3 Arena names. But this game, it should be pretty good. It's panned on WCR, so, you know, sometimes Panda games aren't the greatest, but a lot of times they're really good, and hopefully this one's going to be awesome. And let's get into it, yeah. So we have the Mountain King, of course. He is creeping right now, this Goblin Laboratory right here, and we have down here, there is a Death Knight on his way up here right now to go ahead and try to do some harass. He shouldn't have to worry too much about getting surrounded, because those militia did just go back to their base, and as you can see, saying, I knew it was going to be a Mountain King. At least I think that's what he's thinking when he says that, that it was probably Mountain King. And it's interesting, we've been seeing a lot more of these forward arcane towers recently, just all around. I think it's just something that's becoming more and more popular as time goes. And of course, here comes a bunch of ghouls. And now, the one good thing about opening ghouls versus Mountain King is it allows you to transition into gargoyles pretty easily. And gargoyles are a pretty good transition if the Mountain King decides to go ahead and try for an expansion, because the Mountain King has a very hard time dealing with gargs if he doesn't have towers up. And of course, that's really the main goal of gargoyles, or the main purpose of gargoyles, is that they can absolutely cancel any building that's being built. They do really good damage to buildings that are currently, you know, being built, as in they haven't finished yet because they're armor type. I think it's considered unarmored. I'm not quite sure on that one, actually. I just know they do a lot of damage to them. Here we can see, of course, Cechi is trying to get some creeping going right outside on this orange camp, right outside of HawK's base. HawK will go ahead and find him. He will go ahead and surround a footman, however, and that was really nice. A coil going to barely save that ghoul. Maybe. Yeah, no, unfortunately, the ghoul's still going to go down, but that was nice because the coil hit at the same time as the bolt. Pretty much, we have another footman surrounded partially by the Mountain King. The Mountain King's going to move out of the way, and that's going to allow that footman to get out. And of course, we're going to see another bolt coming in here onto this ghoul, and he's got to deal with this stun if he can get away. Probably not. He did just get bashed, so it looks like he's maybe, no, barely gonna get just slightly out of range of those footmen. Unfortunately, one last hit will take him down, and of course this fight is just kind of being a little bit hectic. We see some militia have been called to go ahead and finish off that creep camp, and indeed another bolt goal will go down to yet another bolt. Up here, of course, we can see that Kobold Taskmaster. He's about to die. I'm surprised that he hasn't just gone ahead and killed it. I don't know what that's all about, but hey, whatever. So down it goes. Of course, he's going to pick up Sentry Wards as well as a Tome of Agility. Going to go ahead and immediately pop one of those Sentry Wards down. He doesn't have enough mana for a bolt at the moment, so he's going to back off just a little bit, but he doesn't have to worry about too much. As you can see, of course, HawK definitely looks like he wants to go for an expansion. Does have that lumber mill down. He has not begun his tech yet, and if we look over here, we can see Cechi on his way to tier 2. Doesn't look like he wants to go Gargs, though, which is an interesting choice, because that kind of is pretty much the standard way to deal with a Mountain King who wants to go for an expansion. If he wanted to go Gargs, he would have, well, he could have had a much faster crypt, a second crypt, as well as a much faster graveyard there, and he could have worked things out, but it doesn't look like that's quite what he's going for, although he may still end up going for just kind of like a later type of Garg thing. Maybe he was like, maybe the Mountain King's teching, but he did just scout that it's definitely going to be an Expo, and he definitely just even scouted the Expo attempt right here. So he's going to go ahead and bring in some more of his schools, only trying to to keep a couple of ghouls at base just to have some wood coming, and then he's going to go ahead, and it looks like he's sending a ghoul back that's on low HP. I'm surprised that he hasn't brought this one as well that's full life, but here comes this Jack right now. Of course, we can see one of these, this Wand of Illusion being used to great use. As we can see, 2 ghouls have been summoned as illusions as well as a Death Knight, and so as long as there isn't a, you know, until the coil is cast, which is actually right there, there was no way for HawK to really know which Death Knight was the real Death Knight unless he clicked on the items and been really clever and said, oh, there's going to be 2 ghouls, because, you know, obviously the Death Knight was the first thing that was summoned. So anyway, we can see this fight. Lots of peasants are going down right now. It looks like this is going to be fairly well delayed. So once again, this is a really great timing for getting gargoyles. So I don't know, maybe we're going to see Cechi kicking himself right now for not having gone a better or a faster Garg build. Is he going to go straight for Gargs? No, it looks like he's going to go for tier 3. And honestly, actually, that's not a bad plan either. If you can do a fast tier 3, go straight for Destros, and that works out pretty well too versus this. Of course, the same principle. You know, you don't have enough towers to actually stop me, even if you get a couple up, and you know that's going to work out pretty well, I think, most likely indeed. And we're actually starting to see more undead starting to do the Destro push once again. It's one of those things almost cyclical, except it's definitely not quite the old Destro push that we used to see. So that's just one of the examples of, I would say, the Warcraft 3 metagame changing or maybe evolving a little bit. But of course not. We're seeing also Destro push now coming in versus Archmage as well. It's not just Mountain King. It's just one of those things where it's like, it's not like it was before. Now you're actually seeing undead players kind of do a sneaky type of Destro push, and it's actually working pretty well. And that's just pretty much because the only reason they can get away with that is human players are starting to try to not mass towers as much. Of course, we're going to see a ghoul going down right there to this Mountain King. He's just going to bolt it once and hit it twice, and that will actually go ahead and take it down. Of course, we can see Cechi is in here trying to go ahead and stop this expansion attempt, or doing some more damage if he can. Of course, you can see there's one guard tower that's about to go up. It looks like that's not going to cancel. This Death Knight may be considered surrounded here. It looks like he is. Yes, indeed, he is surrounded. They're going to go ahead and try to take down that Arcane Tower. Should be able to do so pretty easily. Indeed, there it is, and that will break this round on the Death Knight. However, the Lich is in a little bit of trouble. He's going to get a bolt on him and surround. However, he will get coil. It's not going to be quite enough. He will cast his second Nova, so he is out of mana at this point, but he also dies. So there you go. You know, he served his purpose maybe, but of course, feeding XP to the Mountain King is not really one thing that you want to be doing. And now you can see that Death Knight once again still kind of surrounded, of course this time maybe partially by his own units, but he's still surrounded by HawK's units there, and yeah, there it is. So he's going to maybe go ahead and try to go for the TP. Yeah, will he get that last peasant? He will get one peasant. Oh, there was another one, maybe could have gone down, but not quite enough time with that TP unit ticking. Of course, it doesn't really matter too terribly much. There's only one tower up at this expansion, and the statues are being pumped out of double slaughterhouse right now, and probably this statue right here is going to begin to research Destroyer form in just a moment. We can see there is enough resources right up here. 75 wood, 150 gold, I believe, off the top of my head is what it's going to cost. We'll see. Maybe it was just 75 gold. Maybe I had it backwards and 150 wood. I think that might be what it is. I don't know off the top of my head, sorry. I should know these things though. I normally do. Sometimes you're casting a game sometimes and you just forget a little fact. You're like, oh, I know that. I don't know why I can't quite come up with it off the top of my head. But, you know, there it is. That's one of those little things. Anyway, so we can see some damage coming in, or a big harass coming in from HawK. Right now he's brought in, let's see, a bunch of footmen. Oh, and the Death Knight's actually surrounded right now. We're going to see him go ahead and try to get out of that surround with some offensive nuking, but it's not going to be quite enough. The Death Knight actually goes down at level 3. And that's a level 4 Mountain King right there. That's going to be able to buy some time for HawK. HawK did go ahead and scout that there is going to be a Destro push coming in right now. He's already got Masonry on the way up, and here come those towers right now. He says, okay, I have got to get these towers up. If we hit F11, we can look at his resource count. You can see, okay, so he's sitting at about 300 gold and 500 wood. The wood's really good for him. He needs to have that strong amount of wood, and here he is just going to start spamming these towers, and this might actually be enough to actually hold this Destro push off. He's going to need more than 3. He's going to need about 7 at each base, I would guess, you know, kind of guesstimate, because he doesn't have any way to deal with those destroyers except for purely the towers, and so he's going to have to do this very well. Yeah, here it comes. There's going to be 7 towers right there, and let's see, that's 3, 6, 7-ish, 8-ish towers. I can't. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 towers at the expansion. The towers at the expansion are a little bit more clumped up, a little bit more exposed. So, you know, you have to be a little bit more, maybe get a couple more of those coming in. And of course, you know, what HawK's probably thinking right about now, or what I would assume he's thinking around, or something around what he's thinking, if I can get my words out from being all jumbled, is pretty much, okay, I've got a big Destro push coming my way. I don't have to actually kill all the Destros. I don't have to keep all my towers alive. All I have to do is delay it long enough for me to get flying machines out, because flying machines are pretty much the de facto counter to a destro push if you can get to them. It's obviously not something that's like, well, it counters a destro push per se, because the destro push can actually come out at 9 minutes flat. This time we're seeing it happen. Gonna be delayed. HawK's played really well with that Mountain King to delay it. But of course, we're seeing Cechi coming here. He's scouting all this. He's saying, oh, there's a bunch of towers up. I'm not going to be fast enough. Will he change his mind with what he's going to do now? I don't know. He's got quite a few destros, or quite a few statues, 4 statues on the field, 1 destro up. That could give him a little bit of map control for dealing with these footmen. If he wants to go ahead and try to go up and throw down an expansion, he might try to do that instead. Because sometimes you just got to say, I got to counter expand. It looks like he has a sacrificial skull, so that might just be what he wants to do. He will have to go ahead and throw down or pick up another acolyte at some point should he decide to do that. He did go with the Spirit Tower instead of a Nubian Tower, which is a little bit of an interesting choice. I can't quite tell you why he would do that. Yeah, I'm thinking about it, but I don't even know why he would do that. I mean, I guess he was I don't know. You know, maybe he just didn't think he'd get harassed at all in his base when he was steering his techs, and so he's like, well, I want a tower because I think there's gonna be some harass, but I probably will have my main up as a Nubian, and that, I mean, maybe that's like the best I can give you. I don't know. But anyway, here comes some harass. We're gonna see 1 acolyte going down. At this point, that is a level 4 Mountain King, very close to level 5. In fact, every time he casts a bolt on an acolyte, that is 1 dead acolyte. Now, this is something that you don't want to be dealing with as an undead player, a high-level Mountain King in your base like this, but we will see a lot of these footmen going down as a payment for killing those couple of acolytes. It looks like we see maybe 2 acolytes have died right there, and we might even see the Mountain King in a little bit of trouble. He might be forced to go ahead and pop an Invul Pod or even a scroll portal, a town portal. Indeed, there's the town portal right there coming out. He says, oh, there's going to be a lot of nuke. It's going to kill me. I got to get out. So he goes ahead and gets out. But it looks like he actually... Oh, this is an illusion. Okay, I was like, wait. I was like, how did he get here that fast? No, it was an illusion. So yeah, and there you go. So at this point, though, HawK does know there's the counter expansion coming up, and pretty much when you know there's a counter expansion coming up, your general goal is just to suicide into it, right? You know, because you're like, all right, my expansion's already up. I got towers. I mean, I got a lot of towers. Is that 9? Let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 towers up that expansion, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 at the main. Here comes 3 Griffin Aviaries. Griffin Aviaries go straight to castles, start spamming Griffin Riders. It's a pretty good way to deal with the undead player's army with a high-level Mountain King. Of course, you can also go Paladin and then Blood Mage as well. Do a lot of damage. Here comes that Mountain King into this expansion. I'm gonna go ahead and try to do some damage. Over here we can see, of course, Cechi did just go ahead and creep that out. Now these guys, these little Wands of Illusion guys, probably gonna end up getting dispelled maybe by this destroyer. HawK definitely knows which one's the real one, so I'm kind of surprised he hasn't gone ahead and do that. Just because, you know, why not? You can pick up a little bit of mana for those, and of course that's what it is. We have a couple of them trying to come in here. We're gonna see lots of damage going down on these guys. The Mountain King barely gonna be able to get that cancel on that expansion, and even be able to take out that bolt, the acolyte right there. There's just not enough nuking power right now for the undead player to actually keep that expansion alive. So there you go. That's the suicide. I wasn't expecting to see that go down actually, because I mean there are destroyers on the field versus pretty much footmen, but HawK managed to do it just ever so barely, and there you have it. I mean, there you go. This is so many towers. I mean, wow. But I mean, that's the proper response when you're in this situation. You have to, and as you can see, it looks like 2 of those peons or peasants right there gonna end up getting picked off by their own towers. They did get trapped building those Griffin Aviaries, and it looks like maybe we're gonna see some Dragonhawk Riders coming out right now. In the meantime, maybe he doesn't even want to go with the Griffins just yet. Maybe he won't even make any Griffins. I don't know. I would definitely expect to see Griffins at some point. And actually, we're gonna see a Panda Brewmaster being picked up as the 3rd hero. I don't think that Cechi's actually scouted these are Griffin Aviaries that have gone up. Actually have that Mountain King once again back in the base. He's level 5 at this point. Did go ahead and, you know, kill an acolyte. And actually, the Spirit Tower is starting to make more sense and starting to show why it's so useful here. It's doing a lot of damage to this Mountain King. Had that been a Nubian Tower, you wouldn't really be able to do a lot of damage to the Mountain King with it, and you wouldn't really be able to force that Mountain King out with just a tower. You would have to go do something more. You know, in this case, we just saw, of course, just the tower and pretty much just the tower and the couple of goals there were able to take it down. Will we see that Mountain King being forced to die? Nope, he's gonna pop. I don't know why I said die. I was gonna say forced to pop a potion of invulnerability, but he was forced to do that. And I can see this Paladin taking a lot of damage actually. Is there enough mana for another coil? There is enough mana for another coil. That coil will kill him. He is below 120 life, and down he goes. level 1 paladin down. Of course, there's a manual health right there that probably won't get picked up this game, but you never know, it might get picked up. And again, I'm kind of confused about the Dragon HawK Riders. Of course, with the Panda as the second hero, or the third hero, again, I think Cechi was thinking it's probably going to be flying machines as the counter, because that's generally what you would imagine. But with a Panda third, you can kind of deal with flying machines. If the Panda gets level 3, you know, it's pretty easy at that point. I'm going to see one slaughterhouse being unsummoned. A very interesting choice to unsummon this slaughterhouse instead of the one that's maybe a little bit more forward. If you want to if you want to analyze that decision, maybe it's because he's thinking at some point there might be tanks, and if the tanks go for the Black Citadel, it's going to be, you know, they're probably going to come in from this area, generally speaking, instead of this one. That might be his decision there. Again, I don't know. I could just be talking out of my butthole. But who knows, right? We have, of course, another scout from the Wand of Illusion up here just scouting, saying, has this been crept by HawK? What is HawK creeping? What's HawK doing? And, of course, we can still see lots of Dragon HawK Riders. Of course, you can see Cechi has gone up to 55 food, and HawK is sitting at 57 food. So both players have broke upkeep. Of course, HawK has banked a little bit, maybe, more on, you know, 2 gold mines. However, he's built so many towers. I think he has about 20 towers right now. And if you take just, you know, the 70 gold, that's, you know, it's 700 gold. So it's been about 1,000 gold to build all those towers up, and I think, you know, about 500, 600, 700 wood. So that's a lot of gold that he has spent, and it's probably going to go ahead and make that pretty even. So the counter expansion from Cechi has done pretty well, even though it was delayed. Now up here, of course, we might see a jack coming in from Cechi as soon as the Paladin and all of these Dragon HawK Riders decide to come creeping. It looks like that's the case. Of course, we're going to see an Illyria's Flute of Accuracy being picked up on that Paladin. Will the Paladin go down one more time? He's going to get level 2, so he has the ability to go ahead and Divine Shield. We'll see a couple of, or one Fiend out on the field right now. It does have Web, and that Paladin is going to be able to get back to this Town Hall right here. Of course, it's a level 5 Mountain King, and he's going to go ahead and staff back the Paladin to heal him up for free. Just going to take a little bit of time, and Cechi's going to finish off that creep camp. Now, will we see Cechi going for the red camp? That would probably be a good decision if he can creep it, but I don't quite think he can creep it. It would be very slow going. He has the destroyers, of course, and the statues. They can't actually do any damage to these guys. They got a lot of life. As you can see, it's kind of a risky creep camp, and he maybe thinks he can do better in the meantime. Of course, that seems to be the only 2 creep camps that are left on the map, I'm pretty sure. Obviously, the middle camps have all been crept out, and so yeah, it looks like the only 2 things that are left are these 2 reds. They're both golems. Of course, Dragon HawK Riders can creep them pretty well because they can all attack, and it looks like we might even see HawK coming down here, maybe making a move to creep out this Grand Knight Golem camp. I don't know, though. In the meantime, we actually see a Temple of the Damned going up, as well as a shop at the expansion. Putting a shop up at your expansion as an undead player is pretty vital, in my opinion. One of the best things about fighting in an undead base as the undead player is the access to your shop. The fact you can buy potions if you need them, potions of mana, potions of healing, whatever you need, as well as rods, is very good. Of course, here we can see these destroyers are going to go ahead and start morphing right now from these statues, saying we need mana to fight this off, and indeed that's what's going to happen. Here come those ghouls as well, and here comes a bunch of nuke on that Dragon HawK Riders. Is there a healing scroll on either one of HawK's heroes? I don't think so. There is one actually on the Paladin. What do you know? And the Paladin, or the Panda, is going to pop a potion of lesser invulnerability down at 50 life. This fight is going insane, indeed. And we're going to see now Cechi going to be forced to back off just a little bit. Will he lose that Paladin, or the Panda? Actually, yes, the Panda does go down ever so slightly, and that Knight's going to get staffed out at 140 life. And so there you have it. Of course, you can see HawK sitting at 67 food at the end of that fight, and Cechi sitting at 63. So Cechi was sitting pretty well until he lost that Panda. Unfortunately, we're going to see one Fiend trying to go down. It looks like it's not going to happen, and Cechi's going to win this fight pretty convincingly at this point. As you can see, he's going to be able to go ahead and one Dragon HawK actually getting away with only 11 life. Very close, but as you can see, Cechi down to 53 food at the very end of that fight, and HawK about 61. So you know, 61 minus 5, I would say it was pretty close, you know, because that was our discrepancy before the fight happened. That was after the Panda died. So I would say, yeah, HawK definitely lost the fight because he did have to burn a TP. But that was a really well done fight by both players, of course. Now, one thing to consider is that the Paladin's very close to level 3. Once the Paladin hits level 3, it's going to be really, really hard to kill either the Mountain King or the Paladin. Of course, it doesn't really look like that is the goal of Cechi right now. Cechi's goal seems to be much more, can I go ahead and stop, or can I go ahead and kill all of your air units? Because those guys, they only have about 725 life. They don't have really much armor. They have 1 light armor. I can web them, and they do a lot of damage. I mean, if you look at that 21 to 29 plus 3, that Illyria's Flute of Accuracy turning out to be a great drop for him. Sorry. Yeah, so I mean, definitely going to be nice, and of course those Knights, they're also going to be a focus target simply because, one, they do a ton of damage, 33 to 53 normal damage, and they have a lot of armor. They got a lot of life. Of course, now you can see that Lich gonna take some damage as well. He's gonna get coiled just before he gets into Holy Light Death range, so he doesn't want that. And he's gonna try to back off, cast Frost Armor. Frost Armor is gonna be very useful in this fight. And here comes a Shade out right now, and that's gonna be also pretty useful for scouting information. This fight is going away. Panda is back out. He's level 2. We're gonna see another Panda Breath of Fire. That statue taking some damage. Will the statue go down? Looks like it's not actually gonna go down. Here come those ghouls as well that are sitting at this base, and this is going pretty well. It looks like for Cechi actually. He should be able to take these guys down. Ghouls do a lot of damage to these riders when they're webbed, so as long as they're on the ground fighting, that's pretty good. Of course, that Shredder can also do a lot of damage too. It's kind of like a knight almost in terms of DPS. Not quite, but yeah, this fight, now you can see it looks like HawK is being forced to run away, just like that. Out he goes. Of course, there's one ghoul chasing. I'm not sure why that ghoul's chasing. I'm surprised that the Mountain King didn't just turn around and bolt and Holy Light and kill it. But hey, there you go. And at the end of that fight, we can see HawK is sitting down to 66 food with Cechi down to about 53. And again, it's hard to call who's really winning these fights, but we did see, of course, Cechi able to push him off, and I think if that fight had gone on, then HawK would have definitely lost it, and that's why he backed off. So it was definitely a good call to back off. Now there are a lot of fiends out on the ground at this point. And this time, you know, this is something you can creep this camp with. Of course, you want to pull it, always want to pull it. This is the sort of camp that if you don't pull, you're really messing up, because as you can see, one, you can pull it in a way that allows you to only have to deal with a couple of the units compared to all of them, and that's good for 2 reasons. And also we have 2 Dragonhawk riders coming here. Will those get webbed? No, they're not. They're just going to be a little bit harassy. There's a Shade right here saying, hey, wait a second, it's pretty safe for me to keep creeping. So will we see that? I don't know, but it looks like he's not going to. Of course, we can see Dual Crypt is what's producing those units right there. Of course, we can see some Adept Banshees coming out as well. Those guys are going to be able to provide anti-magic shell, and that's going to be able to help deal with the huge, massive amount of damage coming in from that Mountain King and that Paladin. I mean, just an absurd amount of damage coming in out of those 2 heroes right there. So that's something that the undead player has to deal with, and he's going to choose to deal with that by using the Banshees. Of course, we can see HawK now sitting at, let's see, 68 food, and Cechi is sitting at 69 food. So both players just going to keep running into upkeep. Now you can see HawK trying to get in here, and this is one of the reasons why you always want to pull this camp out. See how much damage those knights are taking. A lot of damage. Of course, he can go ahead and Holy Light him, and what item will he pick up? A Ancient Django of Endurance, a great little 5% attack speed, 5% movement speed bonus to all of your units. Pretty good. This fight looks like it's going to go pretty well in terms of HawK's favor, actually. The ghouls aren't here to help deal with these Dragonhawk riders when they're on the ground, and we can just see, of course, HawK is just absolutely dominating right now. Of course, level 5 will be picked up by that Death Knight. Another Fiend will go down, and of course, these that's going to be level 6 Mountain King. That means Avatar is a possibility at this point to see, and level 4 on the Paladin. These heroes are turning into absolutely insane. Of course, we're also seeing some Curse being cast, and one Banshee will go straight down to a Bolt. Of course, we're going to see another Dragonhawk Rider going down. These Dragonhawk Riders are just being killed left and right. Of course, will we see another one die right here? We have an Abomination out on the field. One Crypt Fiend will go down, and indeed, there you have it. This fight's still being absolutely nuts. Both players losing a load. As you can see, Cechi down to below 50 food at this point. HawK sitting at 60. And, of course, those knights are doing a lot. Will we see one of those Dragonhawk riders going down? It's going to get staffed out at 30 life. This one will certainly go down. And is Cechi going to break? Upkeeper is going to bank just a little bit because he can see what's going on with this army. He says, that's not a very large army. You're probably only barely over 50. But if you don't break, he's like, maybe I can bank just a little bit of time. And that would be pretty efficient for him to do. As you can see, that's exactly, I think, what we're going to see happen here. We can see HawK sitting at 63 food. HawK can't really max up too fast because he doesn't have a whole lot of wood. He is sitting at 1 gold mine, as you can see. Both players sitting on 1 gold mine. Of course, that gold mine has a lot of gold, 1,500 gold on this one, and 10.5k gold, 100 gold on HawK's gold. So, I mean, there you go. These are huge, huge, huge gold mines right here. They have an absolute ton of gold in them, and of course, if we look, we can see HawK is still, I mean, him trying to max up off 1 gold mine while you're in low upkeep is not really gonna work out well for you ever. So it's probably gonna take him a while just to get to 70 food. And meanwhile, Cechi just banked up a little bit, and sorry. Yeah, now we're just gonna, he's breaking upkeep though just now, just because he knows he's about to fight. And here come this fight right now at 52 food. Versus 59. Of course, one knight did go down. Death Knight is taking a lot of damage. Might be seeing him forced to pop that potion of invulnerability. I know he doesn't want to, because, you know, he's like, he's like, I hope not to have to, but he's gonna go ahead and pop that just barely before that bolt hits him. And indeed, here comes some nice staff play in from HawK and Cechi, of course. Cechi's going to always do better off in these lower food fight counts than you will do in the big food fight counts, because of course the 100 food army for a human player is generally considered to be much stronger than the 100 food undead army, but the Death Knight will go down. So, you know, HawK's just saying, I don't really want to take these fights because it's not really, I'm not really ready for him. He's like, but I have to take these fights while the food counts are low. And he's like, and that's my only chance for winning, and he can definitely win from that. Absolutely. He's not sitting behind too far whatsoever. Even though he did lose that Death Knight, he's not really in a bad shot space right here either. Kind of surprised. I don't think he has Burrow, which is, I just think is really weird. Will that Dragon Hawk Rider go down? It's very, very low, but it doesn't look there's anywhere for him to kill it, and it looks like it's going to back off. And so there you have it. Without the Death Knight, Cechi's still going to be able to win the fight. Of course, like I said, in the low food fights, I would say the Undead probably has an advantage, but in the bigger food fights, the human player is definitely going to be able to do a lot. Because better, if he could get to 100 food. He's not going to be able to get to 100 food, though. Of course, you can see both players now sitting below 100 or 50 food. They're neither one in upkeep, so both players probably going to bank at 50 here for just a little bit. Of course, there's that, well, maybe, because I mean, Cechi is going to be watching. He's going to say, okay, I know that if you break upkeep, I have a little bit of time to actually break upkeep as well before I have to try to take a fight with you. But if you just sit at 50 and you just bank, I'll do the same, and it's going to work out pretty well for me, or at least that's what he's probably thinking, because he's got more gold in his gold mine by about 5,000 gold, which is a pretty respectable amount. Of course, you can see Cechi sitting at 42 and HawK sitting at 49. HawK just saying, I'm going to come down here and try to do a little bit of stuff, see what's going on. He's like, did you get that Death Knight back out? If you did, well, we'll see what I'm going to do about it. I think that's, oh yeah, this is a level 5 Lich, level 3 Panda, level 5 Death Knight. Really, really strong heroes at this point. Definitely capable of dealing with the level 6 Bound King. Definitely capable of dealing with the level 5 Paladin. I think that, yeah. So, normally, if you saw these high-level human heroes with the Mount King and the Paladin, you would say, alright, there's no way the Undead can win, but with the Undead player, with these high-level heroes as well, it's really going to be just coming down to who plays it better at this point. Absolutely. So we're just going to wait and see. It looks like a little bit of waiting going on right now, while both players are just saying, yep, let's just bank. HawK is sitting at 47 food, Cechi is sitting at 48. Of course, there's no reason for Cechi to have to bank, or to worry about not banking right now. He's doing just fine with it. And are these guys master? They are indeed master right now. Master, not only does it provide you with the additional ability to cast possession, it also provides you with increased mana regeneration, more health, and more mana. So it's always worth it to upgrade to those guys if you're banking. Now here comes, it looks like HawK. I'm gonna try to do some damage, maybe, maybe not. Maybe he's just saying, can I bait a fight? Can I bait some units? Can I kill some units with my nukes? And Cechi's probably thinking the same thing. Of course, it looks like that's gonna be, honestly, one more thing too to note. Sorry about the coughing. But one more thing to note as well is that the Undead has kind of an advantage in those sort of skirmishes too, because he's got statues. He can actually heal up his mana, where for pretty much free. I mean, it's not completely free, but compared to what HawK has to do, he actually has to buy clarities from the Arcane Vault. So if he's not getting any kills, if they're just trading blows like with what we just saw on that Dragon Hawk Rider, where there's nukes being thrown on the rider, but he's being holy lighted, and you know, HawK's not actually killing anything, then that's definitely better for Cechi. So the longer this game goes at this rate, it's better for Cechi. And of course, you can see Cechi's gold mine now hitting 12.5k, which should mean this should be about 7.9 or so. So there you go. I was gonna actually say 7k, but I was off by about 1,000. But whatever. I tried to make up for it. Whoops, well, we just lost like half a second. Sorry, I accidentally hit the stop record button. I meant to hit F11, so let's hit that button. And of course, you can see HawK is sitting at about 59 fruits, so he has begun to break upkeep. Where is that shade? I can't quite tell. Let's see if we do that. Here it is. He's coming in here. He's on the Paladin, so I don't know if Cechi... Oh, oh, whoops, sorry. Okay, there we go. So Cechi, I don't know if he actually knows that that HawK is broken yet. But Cechi is still sitting back here. Of course, Cechi again, not sitting uncomfortably whatsoever. And that Mount King gonna just say, okay, well, I don't know if I can find anything, but I'm gonna take some damage. Just gonna walk away. And of course, with the shade right here, this could be interesting. Of course, we're gonna see a lot of damage being done to that Paladin. And of course, it's not a terribly big deal, but because you can always just use a staff to get out of that. But it's not really an ideal either. Of course, we're going to see that Paladin being forced to pop his Divine Shield. Mount King going to take a little bit of damage, and we're just going to see that Paladin getting staffed out. And there you have it. Let's see, where is HawK now? HawK is saying it's still at 59 food, which is just odd because he's not taking a fight. He's not really doing anything with it. He's going up to 62 food. Where is he making units from? I don't... Workshop's coming up right there. Oh, did he just buy a shredder, maybe? I have no idea where he's getting all this supply from. Did he pick up another hero? No, he's got. That would be odd, wouldn't it? It would be odd. It must have been. It must have been from Shredders or something. But either way, he is sitting at 62 food, which isn't the wisest decision for him at this point. As you can see, I mean, he's just sitting here while Cechi's banking below 50. That's really great for Cechi. Really, really good for Cechi. And of course, if we look, I think Cechi can see. Yeah, he's like, okay, so I see there's a workshop going up. So Cechi's saying, you're probably going to go ahead and try to break soon. Of course, here comes Cechi breaking, right? Cechi just broke. He's 68 food. Yeah. Oh, what? Oh, I had it backwards. Cechi's been the one going into upkeep. God, I'm an idiot. Okay, so Cechi's been going into upkeep. Okay. And HawK is not. HawK is sitting at 47 food. HawK is still banking. Jesus Christ, I'm so stupid sometimes. But anyway, here comes HawK saying, okay, well, if you want to do this, you want to try to fight my towers. What I'll do is I'll just come kill your acolytes, and that's going to burn a TP, as well as a lot of acolytes are going to die right there. That was really, really well done right there by HawK. Absolutely wonderful play coming in from HawK, and Cechi can't really keep doing that, but now Cechi has to. Cechi's in an awkward situation. There goes one Fiend. Of course, Bolt Holy Light combo at this level will just pretty much one-shot most of these undead units. If they don't have this on it, the anti-magic shell. Pretty much the abomination can survive it, and a worm can survive it. Of course, obviously magic immune units like the destroyer, the statue can survive it, but and heroes, and that's about it. Of course, that was with the anti-magic shell right there. As you can see, just does a lot of damage. Anti-magic shell absorbs about 300. Now, this is not really the best play from Cechi, because Cechi's sitting at 63 food and can't really push, he can't really do anything. And HawK's sitting at 47 food, banking up. He's got 2,000 gold. This is looking pretty good for HawK actually at this point. I'm kind of surprised. I don't know why Cechi would break. It doesn't make a lot of sense, because I felt like Cechi was in that sort of situation where he was doing well, but then again, maybe it goes back to that idea that Cechi doesn't want to take it to 100 food versus 100 food, and if both players banked out about 9k gold mine, then that's exactly what we would have saw. So I guess there's that. That makes enough sense. Now, of course, we're going to see, again, some more fighting going underway. Will we see that Monkey going to go for maybe a ghoul? No, just going to see lots of these things being cast on. Anti-magic shell all over the place. And the Panda now doesn't have an anti-magic shell on him. But the Panda is not in really too much danger. He might take a little damage, but, you know, it's not a huge deal. There it is. Yeah, he can't be holy lighted, so he's not nearly as much of a concern. It's the combo. It's between because holy light's basically a coil. Coil does a lot of damage at level 3, but also it's got a second less cooldown and it costs 10 less mana. So when you're in that dynamic, it's a little bit harder to use your coil defensively if it's in a holy light is being used aggressively, because over time the human player will actually end up being able to edge out that the cooldown on you. It's like 6 casts, I think, to do it. I'm not sure if that's right, but that sounds about right. Anyway, the paladin has been staffed out, and the Mountain King is down here by himself, so I don't know why Cechi's running from this. The paladin's not here. He knows the paladin's not here. If he gets a surround on that Mountain King, the Mountain King will die. There's really no way that Mountain King could live if that happens, so this is a really odd choice. I don't know what's going on, but of course we're gonna see he's going to have a hard time getting us around, of course, because it is a Boots Mountain King, but he does have a Lich with Nova, so it's like maybe it's possible. It's definitely possible, but looks like he's not going to use his mana, though, and I don't know why. I mean, he could just be nuking the crap out of this thing right now, and that would also be working as well. This is really weird. I definitely am confused why he's not just going for that Mountain King right now. I would probably be like, Mountain King, come here, but that's just me. Of course, Cechi's a better player, so... But I don't see any downside whatsoever to going for this Mountain King. Of course, here comes some nukes on him. He can pop a potion of lesser invulnerability, and at this point, yeah, he was a little bit too late, because here comes that paladin, and that paladin's going to be able to go ahead and staff him out just before he dies, or even cast Holy Light if he wants to. As you can see, that was really close, though. If that paladin hadn't been there, the Mountain King would have been forced to pop a potion of lesser invulnerability, but there's Mountain King getting up to full life with just those 2 Holy Lights. Of course, Holy Light does the same kind of dynamic as Coil. It deals damage for 300, but it heals for 600. So there you go. It always heals for twice as much as it deals damage to. And of course, to a hero, you don't have any. You don't have that 25 or 30% reduction of damage or spell damage, because if you're healing them, because that would just be silly, right? But anyway, HawK's still sitting at 50 food. HawK's sitting up to, he's banked up to 3.3k gold, and of course you can see Cechi sitting at 470 gold, but he's got 71 supply. Cechi does have more gold mine, as you can see. Still in the gold mine, it's about 5k roughly. But again, he can't really do a lot. He can't really go out. He can't push, because these two heroes right here are just going to come in here. They're going to do a bunch of damage to these guys. His only bet maybe would be if he just went ahead and did like a block where he just blocked all of this with buildings, and then he could do something. But even then, he'd have to be concerned with the whole idea. What if he tries to bring sappers in and blows them up? What if he buys a zeppelin, etc.? There's really a lot of issues there. It's going to take way too long to kill the towers to actually get into the human player's base. So it looks like Cechi is just going to have to deal with the fact that he made a mistake, and I think he definitely made a mistake going into this upkeep, because he can't do anything with it. There's just nothing he can do with it. Now, I mean, unless he can actually go ahead and get a kill or something on one of these heroes. Of course, you're going to see that Banshee taking a bunch of damage. Not quite enough to kill it, though, through the anti-magic shell, but very, very close. And yeah, I mean, these two guys, HawK's heroes, are just really dominating. I mean, it's kind of funny, though, that two heroes right here are actually able to keep this entire undead army pretty much preoccupied. There's nothing they can do about it, because they have two staffs on them, and they have a divine shield on this guy, and just got a really, really strong heal that has only a 6-second cooldown and hits instantly on the paladin. So it's like, well, I say instantly, it's not quite instantly, but it's like 0.1 second to land, so it's like really, really close to instant. Yeah, you can go for the paladin if you want, and that's probably the better choice here, but of course he does have the divine shield, or he'll just get staffed out. And here we can see that Mount King. Now the Mount King, once again, he's in one of those situations like, just go for the Mount King, you know, like what's he gonna do, you know? But of course it looks like he wants to go for the paladin. You can't really go for the paladin though, so I don't know. But the Mount King gonna come in here. I mean, if the whole undead army is right here, then the Mount King isn't gonna be able to do anything whatsoever, not at all. So here we can see just a little bit of these heroes coming up here saying, oh, there are a bunch of towers here, what am I thinking? And it looks like HawK has actually gone ahead and gone up to 83 supply food. He does have enough to go ahead and build a farm. He can go straight to 100 if he wants to. That's going to be 3-0 Dragon Hawk Riders, 3-2 Knights. Are we seeing a tech for those guys? It looks like black powder being upgraded. It's going to increase the mortar team's damage. I'm pretty sure, and let me double check. Yeah, mortar team, flying machine, siege engines, riflemen. So there you go. And so yeah, we're just seeing HawK just going for hard teching right now. Of course, here comes, it looks like the final knight upgrade for armor, and that'll be 3-3 knights versus 1-1 fiends, 0-0 A-bombs, and master banshees. So this is not the ideal situation. Also, meanwhile, note that of course these banshees have been having to keep anti-magic shell up just because of the way HawK's been playing. So it's been really well played by HawK. Of course, we can see Cechi seeing that, oh crap, this army is huge, and it's also got like a load of mortars in the back, so he's gonna have to figure out something to deal with it. But that's just so many knights. I mean, that's 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 knights. Honestly, against that many knights, you really just want to have like heavy air, because you're not going to really be able to, those are 3-3 knights. Even if you had 3-3 A-bombs, I don't quite think you could deal with those. Knights generally at 3-3 should beat A-bombs, because A-bombs, you can't really afford to tech them to 3-3, but maybe you can, I don't know. At least you don't see undeads ever doing it, so I would assume there's a reason. But anyway, let's look at this fight. Cechi's sitting at 84 food, HawK is sitting at 94, and here comes the fight. Or it sort of is going to come. Avatar is being popped right off the bat by the Mount King, and we're going to trying to see a lot of those mortar teams kind of forming a siege line in the back and artillery line. Those mortar teams are going to go down, it looks like, and yeah, those knights, I'm not really sure what they're fighting here. It looks like, oh, we're seeing, possession has been used, right? Okay, so the knights are fighting themselves. That was a really good play by Cechi. If you have that many knights, I guess possession also works, because you can just take a couple of them, and then that'll help distract those knights. Of course, meantime, we can see it looks like another mortar team, the final mortar team, gonna go down, and Cechi is sitting at 58 food. HawK is sitting at 74 food, so I mean, it's not too bad for Cechi. Here comes another possession onto one more knight. These destroyers are gonna start being picked up. Destroyers sort of count as heavier. They can also kind of perform the same role versus knights if there isn't a bunch of flying machines out. So this could potentially end up working for Cechi. Also, we can see that the heroes are going pretty well. Of course, the Lich is out of mana. The Death Knight is kind of in a bad spot. He's going to be forced to go ahead and TP out right like that. You can see Cechi sitting down to 51 food. HawK is down to 53 food, however. So there you have it. I mean, absolutely phenomenal play from both players, but really Cechi's done a great job. Of course, Cechi unfortunately kind of panic TP, I think, and he didn't quite TP it over here. Had to TP back to his main base like that. They're going to see 2 staffs being cast. These acolytes are in a little bit of trouble here, and now this is pretty good for Cechi. You go ahead and try to keep that abomination alive. Just kill these knights, and he will actually be able to win this fight, I think, pretty easily. Yeah, there it is. No problem whatsoever. When you have destroyers versus knights, that works out pretty well. And one knight, unfortunately, going to be... Oh, yeah, wait. Yeah, that's definitely still HawK. So one knight and one mortar team not going to get the TP. But that knight is pretty fast, so he should be able to get away. As you can see, of course, he's riding a horse, so of course he's going to be fast, right? And so really well done. You can see HawK is down to 46 food. Cechi is at 47 food. And HawK says, I still have 6k gold in my gold mine. And you know what? I'm sorry, Cechi says he still has 6k gold in his gold mine. And HawK's like, I only got 31k gold, or 3100 gold in mine. So, everything just crashed. Okay, so I got everything loaded back up. My computer was like, I'm not having this, and pooped out. Luckily, I actually accidentally hit the stop record button just a second ago because I lost the last AVI, so lost a couple minutes there. But we should be about synced up here. So yeah, that's why everything's paused. Sorry about that. I don't know exactly what to do about all that, but let's just see. I think we just saw a fight happen. I believe is what just happened. Yeah, and let's look at the aftermath. Let's go. Okay, so it's about 40 minutes in the game. 40 minutes in the game. Insane. Let's see. Let's look at the gold mine counts. It's kind of important. HawK sitting at 3k gold, and Cechi sitting at about 6k gold. You can see HawK sitting at 49 food, and Cechi has gone up to 51 food, and he's about to kill this acolyte because I've seen a couple minutes ahead. I'm like a prophet. Yes, I am. So that brings him back down to 50 food, and let's see here. Of course, if we look at the text on all the units, where are the units? Over here, you can see these are 3-3, 3-3 Knights, and 3-0 Dragonhawk Riders. 0-0 Abominations and 1-1 Fiends, of course, are going to be the Master Banshees right there as well. I think that was an insane fight as what we just saw, actually. Yeah. So, indeed it was. It was an insane fight. I think it was like a huge fight. Somehow, Cechi managed to hold it off. I really don't know how he managed. I mean, there was all that possession, of course. The possession was a big part of that fight for actually winning the fight. Those Knights were just absolutely ruthless. I'm kind of surprised that, you know, we didn't see more. Of course, we're going to see HawK just come down here, play really well. Should be able to staff that Mount King out. It's really good play to actually be able to go ahead and nuke these Acolytes down. Of course, he knows that for every time he hits Holy Light, he can kill one Acolyte, and every time he hits Bolt, he can kill one Acolyte. The Paladin here is not in any real danger. He does have Divine Shield, of course. However, it's about to run out, but he still has a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. That would be like the main thing of him to actually lose right here if he has to. And of course, he's actually able to Holy Light the Mountain King if you need to, and then he can just staff back the guy because he just still have he has staffs on both heroes. And yeah, so of course, you can just see Cechi now up to 53 food, and HawK is sitting at 61 food. Of course, I think what we just saw was Cechi probably got a whiff of, oh, look at all this stuff. He's got a shade back here. So yeah, I've seen that HawK has decided to break. So Cechi's also going to match that breaking, or try to match it. And yeah, we can just see him, let's see, level 5 Death Knight, level 4 Panda, level 5 Lich, Potion of Lesser Invulnerability on both the Undead heroes, and a Potion of Healing on the Panda. And of course, you can see level 7 Mountain King. Oh, gonna come in there to get a kill on that Banshee with those nukes. Very nice. And of course, you can see him now backing off. Of course, he's level 6 on that Paladin. Which does mean if he gets enough mana, he needs more mana, but he can get that level 6 ultimate, which is the Resurrection, which is really good. Just seeing him pick these units off. Without the Banshees out, there's really not a lot that we can. I guess actually there were a couple back there. He could have used those to keep those guys alive. So a little bit of a mistake maybe from Cechi's play right there, but not a huge deal. Yeah, so at this situation, I would say there's one thing to really be concerned about. You know, if this Paladin gets up to full mana, maybe buys a Potion of Mana as well, he can take a fight, and then he has options. One, he can come back as long as he comes back within about 80 seconds, he can come back and cast his ultimate and revive all of the Knights. The only thing that could possibly happen to stop that is if we see Rod of Necromancies being used from Cechi, or if he gets level 6 on the Death Knight and picks up his ultimate and uses that to actually, because what you got to do is you got to get rid of those corpses. Because once the corpses are gone, the Paladin can't resurrect the units. And of course, if you don't know what the level 6 Paladin, his ultimate is, that probably would have been confusing. So his ultimate essentially allows you to revive units. They come back from the dead just like they are right now. So if this unit, if say this Knight were to be killed right here, he just turned around and killed his army, and then cast the ultimate from his Paladin, then that would just be right back up just like it is. Actually going to see a nice flare right there. Should be able to take down a Shade. Yeah, no problem. And so there you go. So Cechi's saying, okay, I know you're on your move out. I'm just going to try to finish getting these units out. And then we're going to take a fight. Of course, Cechi's sitting at 58 food, and HawK's sitting at 67 food. So HawK's got a really nice army right now. Potion of Lesser Invulnerability on each of his heroes, and a Scroll of Healing even on the Mountain King. Of course, two very nice auras, the Illyria's Flute of Accuracy, as well as the Ancient Django of Endurance. providing additional damage to these HawKs. And of course, we're going to probably see him go straight for that shop. Yeah, that shop's very low. Just go ahead and take it down. HawK's thing at 67 food, 59 food for checking. This fight's going underway. Now, this should be pretty easy for HawK, I would imagine. He's not really taking too much damage. There's no Ziggurat or anything like that. The shop's down. There's not really any advantage that Cechi has in this fight, but it's not looking too bad. I mean, Chechi's got all these casters. You know, that's probably the biggest thing that's hurting HawK right now is he doesn't have Dispel. He's not getting rid of this. I mean, that is a Haze Fire and Curse, and that's just like a lot of reduction in ability to hit. We can just see so many misses. I don't know if you're seeing all these misses just all over the screen. Miss, 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 miss. Making it very easy. Of course, we're going to see the Panda now go. The Panda is actually going to get surrounded. He will go down. A level 6 Death Knight ult going to be used. In this case, it's actually kind of useful right now. It's usually not a very useful ultimate, but it does stop the Paladin from reviving them in a couple minutes. But it just gives him a lot of extra damage. He needs that damage right now. He needs as many units as he can get, and they're turning into Knights, which are going to do decent damage. You'll see another Banshee going down right there. And of course, just seeing all these misses is just absurd. How much we're seeing misses happen right now from this human army, because he just doesn't have any Dispel whatsoever to deal with this. All these casters. And of course, now we see that Banshees, well, the Banshees are dead. The Destroyer is also just doing work as well. They're able to just, you know, get a lot of Dispels off. I have no idea what they're dispelling. Maybe they're dispelling the I don't think you can dispel curse. Maybe they're dispelling curse. That might be what they're doing. Or maybe they got mana from a statue. That might have been it. It might have just morphed. Because of course, if you do that, that's also a good idea. You know, killing these Knights is great, and Destroyers do a really good job for dealing with Knights. And at this point, you know, there's a problem coming in right now for HawK. He's out of gold, and without gold, he's in trouble. I mean, if we look, HawK is down to 39 food. He's got about 47 gold left. He's got a couple items he can sell. He can sell boots, he can sell a staff if he wants to. As long as he keeps one staff, he's not in terrible shape. He could sell maybe I wouldn't sell the Django. I wouldn't sell the Django. He could sell the Illyrius with accuracy. I mean, he could sell the Django if he absolutely had to, but I would say, you know, for a unit, if it was the decision comes down to, you know, another Dragon Hawk or another Knight and a Django, keep the Django. You can definitely sell the Illyrius Foot of Accuracy, yeah, because, you know, that's just a little bit of additional damage, you know, plus 3 damage on each one of these Dragon Hawk Riders. That's not a lot. That's 5, 3, 15 damage per volley. It's not a huge amount of damage. I mean, it's really not when these heroes, not when you're fighting, you know, these guys down here with 1,075 life on the Death Knight, 700 life on the Lich. I mean, it adds up, but it's probably better to get Clarities, and that's what he sold that for. I think it was Clarities. Getting more mana. Mana is going to do a lot more damage. These heroes are really all it comes down to for HawK right now. He's got these extra units. They're there, but they're mainly fodder. This is all about his heroes at this point. And of course, we can see those Dragon Hawk Riders going straight for the Destroyer right there. As you can see, of course, we're going to see one of those Dragon Hawk Riders will maybe go down. Indeed, it does. Will that Destroyer go down? Will it get coiled? It looks like it's just going to die. Level 8 can be picked up by that Mountain King. That Lich is taking a fair amount of damage, but he does still have that potion or the anti-magic shell on him. And level 6 just getting now picked up by the Lich. Indeed, we're going to see a nice Holy Light on one of those Dragon Hawk Riders. Should they be able to take down that Destroyer? It might just happen. It's going to be very close. Is there enough mana for a coil? No, there's not. Oh, the Lich actually goes down. The Lich going down. That's not good. Now, Chechi's really not in a good spot without that Lich. Of course, that means he's probably going to lose this fight. He doesn't have his Panda. All he has right now is a Death Knight, and a Death Knight is not going to be enough to take out a Paladin and a Mountain King. Certainly not. And of course, we're going to see that Banshee's trying to stay alive versus these Dragon Hawk Riders. We're just going to see a Quill, one unit getting staffed out, probably a Knight. There is a Peasant left. Will we see that Peasant go down? I would probably kill the Peasant just in case. You know, he wants to prevent it from long distance mining, because that could happen, because it looks like he's about to lose his base. Yeah, down goes the Paladin, or the Peasant. And of course, we're just seeing 2 Banshees going down to those Dragon Hawk Riders. Oh, almost getting the Dragon Hawk Rider. Will he get with the statue? Not quite. Looks like it's going to get staffed out at 4 to 5 HP. Very, very low. Yeah, just go ahead and start unsummoning stuff. Good move by Cechi, saying, you know what, there's no way I'm going to be able to keep this up. It looks like he's trying to go for the unsummon on the Ziggurat. Unfortunately, these units are going to get stunned and picked off right there. Indeed, you know, it says, I'm just going to try to stop you from having as much gold as possible. The question is, will he just go ahead and try to kill these buildings, or will he try to come over here and maybe do some damage down here? You can see the Panda has been backed out. Looks like the Lich has been Tavern revived, and we can just see, yeah, 1 Banshee is out. How much mana, or how much gold does Cechi actually have? Not enough for a slaughterhouse, or for a statue. Does have enough for a acolyte. Kind of risky to build that acolyte right now. Because again, just 1 Holy Light or 1 bolt could kill it, and if you kill it, that's 75 gold. That's really important gold that you have, and you definitely want to keep that alive. Of course, we're going to see that Banshee now just going down as well. Acolyte's trying to run out of here. That would be smart if he can just get out of here, but he's still kind of close into this fight. I would move him out of the base. But hey, Let's see, that the Lich gonna pop a potion of lesser invulnerability. I think we saw that ghoul going down as well. Yeah, no, it's still here, still in the fight. There it is. He might be killed. Of course, we're seeing a lot of damage being done. The mana potion was bought on the Lich, and it just now got passed over to the Death Knight, and he used that to go ahead and coil. Oh, the Mountain King is actually surrounded right now, and will we see that? Now, the Panda is going to be the focus target, it looks like, from that Mountain King. Of course, he does have a potion of lesser invulnerability. Going to pop that. Looks like he's going to be able to break this round just ever so barely. We'll see that surround is being once again picked up, and now that Panda is actually taking a lot of damage. Oh, the Panda is going to go down. Indeed, the Panda is getting out of the fight. And oh, the Mountain King goes down. What? Okay, so the Mountain King goes down as well as the Panda, and the Paladin's now actually running away at very low life. He does have enough. He does have enough mana for a Divine Shield, of course, or a potion of lesser invulnerability, which doesn't take mana. So this Paladin's actually in a little bit of trouble as well. This Paladin, I mean, maybe not. Divine Shield at level 3 does last for quite a while. Actually, I hear some buildings. Yeah, some buildings being unsummoned. It sounded like. I don't know where that Acolyte went. It just got dark ritualed by the Lich. He's trying to take out this Paladin, or the Paladin, yeah. 2 Knights coming down that way. Now, of course, it still hasn't wore off. He actually was able to move all the way across the map without Divine Shield wearing off. You'll see that it's going to have 10 seconds left as soon as it starts blinking. And it's still not. There it is. So, 10, 8, 6, right? 4, 2, I was off. I tried to count. I couldn't do it. Whatever. So yeah. So this is interesting. Is there enough? There is actually enough gold from selling those items off of the Paladin. Everything but that potion of lesser invulnerability to go ahead and revive the Mountain King. It's a long revive. I mean, and Cechi, he's got a level 6 Lich, almost enough mana at this point to go ahead and cast his ultimate. Which would be, wait, what? He just picked up a Sapper? Okay, so there's a Sapper. That'll work as well. Just gonna bring the, oh, the Sapper is gonna get killed just barely before going ahead and blowing up that Altar of Kings. So very close, as you can see. Wow, insane play. I mean, there should still be enough mana, though, for a Death and Decay, unless he didn't pick up a Death and Decay. He might not have done that. There's nothing to stop him from casting Death and Decay at this point. There's plenty of mana. There's 2 coils. He could easily take out that Altar of Kings. It looks like he's just going to go for the Nova instead on the Paladin. Screw the Death and Decay, says, I didn't get it, and that's really odd, but whatever. Of course, I don't know. So again, 70 damage for each level of Holy Light. So he's level 3 Holy Light. When he nukes right now, all he has to do is get him down below 210 life to kill them. That Lich is, Lich is getting there. We're gonna see a coil at 299, so pretty close. About 70 life away from dying right there. So pretty close. And the Mountain King's actually gonna be able to come back out, no problem. That's actually insane. And looking really good for HawK right now. He's got a Mountain King out then. We'll have that Paladin now. He's got 2 Knights and a Dragon Hawk Rider versus a Lich at level 6, a Death Knight at level 6, and a statue. Oh, a bolt going onto the Death Knight. Gonna go ahead and see that being dodged with a potion of lesser invulnerability. And indeed, that statue now is taking a bit of damage. The statue might go down. He's not let it keeping Unholy Aura for some reason. It's gonna get bashed, and it's actually gonna be taken down. So there goes that. Unfortunately, of course, is there enough mana for Cechi to have, or enough gold? Oh, there is actually enough gold for an Acolyte. It's already going out, and he's unsummoning buildings with it. He's gonna keep this Temple of the Damned up. Maybe make a Banshee. Could really use a Banshee versus these nukes. He could also really use a statue or his panda back out. So if you can get either one of those, a statue or a panda, maybe both would be really good. Maybe he can get enough gold out if he does that. I can't quite tell if he's going to have enough gold. It's going to be really close. Definitely getting that Banshee out. Banshee is definitely useful. Can save you from a load of damage, way more than the Banshee or the panda will. So definitely go with the statue or the panda. Definitely go with the Banshee. But now that it's out, maybe it should, come down here and unsummon the Temple of the Damned, because maybe, I think, you seem like he's really not going to be able to get another Banshee back out, or he could, maybe, I guess he could. Oh, I guess it doesn't matter, because it looks like that's, or maybe he's going to back off. HawK is okay. HawK's not going to worry about it. And, here comes the statue out. There is a Ziggurat left, so there's 20 supply left. Of course, if he started unsummoning both the Black Sigil and the Ziggurat, and then he killed the Acolyte, he can maybe get the Panda back out. That's really risky. I wouldn't do it. I don't think he's going to do that. That sounds really risky to get a hero out. And then, maybe you end up in a situation where you have a shop, an altar, and a slaughterhouse. You're like, I don't know if I really want to get in that situation. And no Acolyte. So yeah, this fight is actually going underway. Of course, we're just seeing a little bit of micro being done, micro ring around the rosy with the Black Sigil. Will we see this Acolyte go down? It will go down. Smart move from HawK, you know, that's 75 gold, and 75 gold at this point means a lot. So, however, that does bring him down to 15 out of 20 food. It doesn't matter, though. He doesn't have nearly enough gold to actually go ahead and pick up that panda. Maybe if he sold all of his items, but I wouldn't sell an Orb of Corruption or a Sobi Mask in this situation. Town Portal, maybe. Oh, the Banshee's going to go down pretty much with one Holy Light and one attack from that Dragon Hawk Rider. The statue also in a little bit of trouble now. Will we see a Frost Armor on it? That would be very helpful. Frost Armor would be really useful at this point. Of course, we see that the Lich pretty much has full mana, and so he's just trying to... I'm not really sure. It looks to me like HawK's going to win this game. I don't see any way. I mean, I guess the only way Cechi could win the game is if he was actually able to take the Paladin, force him to staff out. But yeah, as you can see, I don't think it's going to happen. We're going to see him being forced to pop a potion of, wow, almost killing him. He would have been at 10 HP. The Paladin would have been 10 HP, I think, had that coil hit him. The coil didn't hit him, however, and the Death Knight came down here and staffed down, so he did sell something. He sold 200 gold for something. I don't know what he sold. Oh, the Sobi Mask. He sold the Sobi Mask. Well, I guess you don't really have a huge choice. Shop's gonna take some damage. Maybe you could get out another statue at this point. No, you could get out another Banshee if you wanted to. That would work. Of course, that Paladin's actually very low. Well, yeah, maybe this could work then. Maybe Cechi can win. If Cechi can kill that can kill the Paladin, that would also work. But I think what we're gonna see is it's probably gonna get staffed out, right? That's a slowed Mount King. The Mount King has no way out of this situation. He's gonna get healed back up to full by the Paladin, and then yeah, just staff the Paladin back, and then yeah, intercept the Mount King. This might work. It's gonna be really close. It looks like, I don't know. There's still the Mount King's I'm gonna go for the statue. Gonna be able to kill the statue. Here's a Frost Armor, although on that Death Knight. A lot of mana on these heroes. Just nuke the crap out of that Mount King. If he kills it, I mean, this is a long shot, but if he can kill that Mount King, I mean, that Death Knight without losing the Death Knight, because that Death Knight, if he gets bashed just one time, he's in trouble. Yeah, there it is. Nope, that's not a bash, just a coil. Another not bash hit. Very, very risky right now with this Death Knight. He's got the Mountain King. He killed the Mountain King. HawK has no way to get that Mountain King back up. As you can see, 17 gold. Paladin's still stuck at the base. A Knight's going to go down. Will he get this Knight as well? He might just be able to. Although he is out of mana. He does have enough mana for a coil. But, yeah, HawK is down to just his Paladin and a Knight, I think. Okay, I think Cechi can win then. Wow, surprising. That is insane. As you can see, I mean, yeah, there's a Knight, there's a HawK, or there's a Knight and a Paladin, and that's about it. Do we see is there enough mana for Cechi to make an Acolyte? Yeah, there is an Acolyte out on the field. I was gonna come over here, probably unsummon that Temple of Damned. And his options are maybe make a gold mine here, or go with a statue. Now he could sell the Orb of Corruption if he wanted to at this point, because he's just, there's really nothing that Cechi can, or that HawK can do. All HawK has is his Paladin. That's it. Oh, now if he gets that, if he kills the Acolyte, then that's going to be pretty good for HawK, and it looks like he's going to. Yeah, wow, very long range, but very nice. So the Acolyte will go down. So I guess that takes away all of my giddy dreams. I was like, oh, he could unsummon, he could sell the Orb of Corruption, build up a haunted gold mine, and then, you know, put up a shop and buy it back. You know, that would have taken a while, but you know, he could have got a couple more units, got the panda back out. But that's pretty much, I guess it doesn't really matter, because as long as you have the Orb of Corruption, you have the Death Knight. The Death Knight's not going to die to a single Paladin. I know this is a Paladin without boots. It's a very slow Paladin. There's no staff, so we might even see that Knight going down at this point. Yeah, I mean, this is... And honestly, if Cechi wanted, he has 168 gold. He could pick up a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability, and just really be... There's really nothing at that point that can be done to him, I don't think. I mean, well, I mean, maybe. He could lose his Death Knight here, maybe, but that Death Knight's way faster than that Paladin, as you can see. Yeah, Paladin has only enough mana right now for one more coil, or for one more Holy Light. That would be enough, I think. Yeah, that would be enough to kill him, but yeah, he's not going to be able to catch him. As you can see, he's like way far. At this point, it would take, you know, 2 Holy Lights to kill him, so it's not looking too good for HawK. Of course, that Knight does a lot of damage. Has 11 armor, 33 to 53 attack damage, attacks fast, normal damage. But, you know, again, it's not looking great. So he's coming over to the shop. Maybe he'll pick up that. He might pick up a staff, though. Staff of Teleportation instead. Nope, it's going to be the Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what he would do with his staff, but Yeah, okay, that was kind of stupid. I don't know why you would pick up a staff. Yeah, definitely the Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. That's definitely the best way to spend that 168 gold. And yeah, so, I mean, alternatively, he could have went ahead and made an Acolyte. Could have unsummoned some stuff. But really, there's no reason to. I don't think he needs to. The only thing I would consider him doing right now is maybe selling the Orb of Corruption and picking up a statue. Because at this point, when you're fighting just this paladin and this knight, really all you're doing is nuking him. I mean, he's gonna do a decent amount of damage with the just the auto attacks because of the orb. You know, he's doing about 45-ish damage a hit because of that orb, which is it's nice, definitely nice. Brings him down to about 2 armor. Actually, let's just take some damage. There's not quite enough mana for another Holy Light, but here comes the Death Knight with a coil. Yeah, definitely with a coil. Yeah, so no problem. And at this point, I mean, it's a level 7 Lich, so it's got level 2 Frost Armor. It has to have its ultimate. As long as it has its ultimate, you know, there's no way that HawK can win. You know, I don't think he can win a fight. So if HawK, and the only thing I can think HawK could do maybe is try a base race thing, but again, I don't think that's gonna happen. I know there are a lot of units here, a lot of buildings here, but again, if it's a level 7 Lich, he's gotta have his ultimate. You know, so once he gets up enough mana, he could just, you know, maybe wait till full mana to cast it. So like if you know, HawK tried to run by him or something, he could, you know, turn into Nova Coil mode, kill that knight. Once the knight's down, if there's only a paladin left, it's gonna be a good game. Because the paladin would take so long to kill these units. Yeah, there it is. There's the good game from HawK. HawK just saying, you know what, there's no way I can kill that. There's no way. You know, so well played, good game. And really amazing game from both players. Absolutely amazing. I mean, what a game. I kept thinking, you know, like one player's gonna win, and then just something crazy would happen, and I was like, no, it's gonna be the other player who's gonna win. And that was what happened. So there you go. What a game for the 200th cast. And sorry about that crash. I know it was, I don't know what was going on there. Computers, right? But speaking of computers, actually, there's something I want to tell you guys. I ordered a very expensive computer. I probably shouldn't have ordered such an expensive one, but I did. Basically, the idea with it was I wanted to be able to stream modern games on 1080p. If I can do that, I should be able to have a great quality looking Warcraft 3 stream. So that actually means I should be able to stream Warcraft 3 in 1080p. I don't know if I'm going to be streaming in 1080p, but I think from now on my YouTube videos are going to be in 1080p. Well, I say from now on. I don't have the computer yet. When it gets here in about 2 to 3 weeks, I'm going to start making the Warcraft 3 videos in 1080p because I should have no problem doing that. It should be fine. Yeah, it should be fine. Right now I don't do it because it's a matter of processing times are really long, but with this new computer they should be like blazing fast. So that's that. Again, also the stream that I do, usually I stream on twitch.tv for Zotac and occasionally for SAWL, maybe a couple other things here and there. A lot of people don't get to watch those streams live, and that's understandable. And if you don't watch it live, you probably don't want to watch the VODs, because the VODs are like 8-hour sections of crap, basically. It's in 360p, so it doesn't look that great. I think it looks okay for 360p. It's a pretty good 360p stream for being 360p because it's like 1200 bitrate, but it's 360p, so it doesn't look that good. And I don't want to put 360p content on the channel because YouTube would absolutely maul that with their encoding, so I don't. But with this new computer, with the new streaming in HD, what I'm going to be doing is I will be streaming it in 1080p or 720p. I don't know which one. Probably 1080p. Maybe not 1080p because with streaming, I'm not sure about the bitrate issue. I don't know how my upload's gonna handle 1080p yet, but we'll see about that. But either way, it will definitely be at least 720, and that means I will be putting up the Zotac live stream and such. I'm gonna cut out those videos into just the videos themselves, and then upload those to YouTube from Twitch. And so, you know, for everyone who's like always asking me, hey, can you put the Twitch stuff on the channel? I will be able to do that. Of course, there's one caveat, caveat? I don't know. There's the one thing is that I have to wait 7 days because of my contract with Twitch.tv. I have to wait 7 days before I can actually move the content from Twitch over to YouTube. I'm going to see if I can talk to them about that and maybe renegotiate that. I doubt they're going to be willing to do that. But if they do, that'll be awesome. I doubt that's going to happen, but I'm going to try. And there's two more things I actually want to get through, because why not? Into the cast. The cast's over if you haven't been able to figure that out. I'm just gonna keep ranting for a couple, rambling on for a couple more minutes. So yeah, the other thing is I did a highlight reel for Zotac last week. You might have watched it. A lot of people watched it. I wasn't super happy with the way it turned out. I like it, but I could do better. And when I say could do better, I mean I'm doing better. I'm not gonna do the Zotac highlight reels anymore, because what happened was that day I spent 8 hours casting more Zotac. In the future, when I'm actually casting that in HD, I'm going to end up also having to spend a couple hours after the cast going through and getting the VODs split up into their Warcraft 3 game VODs, because I don't do that right now, because for 360p, I know there's not going to be a whole lot of demand for it. But going forward, once it's in HD, I'm like, yeah, I think more people are going to be willing to watch that, and so I'll start doing that. And so they'll be on Twitch immediately within a couple of hours, usually after the cast on Zotac. Split off in their own VODs, so you won't have to like watch the whole boring stream anymore. If like, because right now if you want to, you'd have to like try to sort through 8 hours, and that's just nonsense. But I'll handle that. And yeah, so the problem was, you know, it takes me about 8 hours to make the video that I made last week, and I wanted about another 8 to make it good, and I didn't have that. So what I'm gonna be doing now is I'm gonna try to do every 2 weeks, release on Sunday, a highlight reel just for the kind of like the past 2 weeks of Warcraft. So I think that'll be really fun. I'm working on the one, I'm hoping to have it done by this next Sunday, and so that'll be great. And the one thing you guys could do to help me with that, if you want, if you could find games with good players, if you just watch them, if you just see good games with players, you know, either, you know, one, just send me a message like, hey, this was the game, you know, around, you know, this is what happened, you know, maybe give me a timestamp if you really want to be helpful, and a link to the replay. That would be awesome. Just send that purebe@gmail.com. There's a link in the description below to my email. So if you guys want to help me out with that, that'd be great. And also it tells me in the description, if you want to do that, how to format your subject for your email. You don't have to, but I would really appreciate it if you do, because I have filters set up so that if you format it in a special way, like just the way that it says down in the description below, it'll get straight into the right place, and if it's not, then I might not see it. So try to do that if you don't mind. If you can help me out with that, that would be awesome. And then, so that's the computer, that's the highlight reel. There was one more thing that I was going to say. 200th Warcraft 3, I did that. I guess that's it. I know there was one other thing, but I can't remember it off the top of my head, so whatever. Yeah, so there we go. I hope you guys really enjoyed this Warcraft 3 game. I really did. Hope you guys don't mind that last 5 or 10, I don't know how long it's been, of me just rambling on about some developments and updates and stuff like that. And thank all of you all. Thanks for everyone. Thanks everyone for watching. Big thanks to all of you guys for watching. Thanks to everyone who spreads the videos. Thanks to everyone who likes them and comments and favorites them. It means a lot. It really does. And I don't say that a lot because I feel like it's implied, but I should. And I will say, you know, definitely, you know, again, just big thanks to everyone. The 200th Warcraft 3 cast. Awesome. I'll see you guys next time.